I turned my hobby into my hustle. And it all essentially, you know how it is, like business is business. You change the industries, it's essentially the same fundamental concepts
Right. Like
between all the
marketing,
industries, right?
sales.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all the same stuff. It's just like the way we look at it. So I like to use those comparisons of sneakers and real estate and talk about like equity in the shoe and all these different things.
Welcome to the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Bello. Today I've got DJ Willingham on the show from Portland. How's it going, DJ?
All right, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. And also the host of the DNA show on YouTube. Everyone go check that out. Really cool background. If people are listening to the podcast, they can't see what I see here.
Right.
But it's awesome to have you. And for everyone listening, DJ is a fan of investing sneakers. And I laughed at the thing you said, you love fresh toast.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, I was like, you're like, I love fresh toast. I'm like, that's a funny little addition in there. But you're a content creator and you love helping people turn their hobby into a hustle through sneakers as well as real estate. So we're going to kind of dive into your world and your experience and where you're going next. But welcome to the show. How's it going today on your side of the world?
Man, things are just turning up more and more, and it's all a blessing. It's a lot of things to worry about, but it's a lot of good things to worry about in the process of buying another house, expanding the business, growing, flipping more houses, and growing my social media business and adding more people to my team, which I've never done before. So I'm just
Very
in a
cool.
big like expansion growth type of year, and second half of the year is coming, so I'm ready to just finish strong.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're flipping houses as well. Like, is that your main, like your main real estate hustle, or do you have Airbnbs and rentals?
So right now I have three houses. The first two I was renting out, and I actually didn't even. I was still living in my parents' house for a few months before I had even moved into my first house I bought. Because as soon as I got the keys, I was already like, "Here's the renters. Like y'all come and
Let's
share the
just rent
space.
it out. Yeah.
Save me a room. Like hopefully I got somewhere to sleep when I get there." And I was like already taking care of that, and then I was doing Airbnb, and then COVID hit, and I was like, you know what, no Airbnb for a while. That put us on to regular renters at the second property, and then got the third house during COVID, and then that's now at Airbnb as well. So I love Airbnb, been around Airbnb for, I'd say, since about 2018, 2019. So just, I'm very familiar in that space with the whole 5-star host and doing all the things. And I've
Yeah.
traveled a lot around the world and done a lot of cool things with even like cruise ships and trips and nice hotels and stuff. So I just kind of wanted to take all my dope experiences and put that into my Airbnbs and be like, oh, if I like this, I know my Airbnb is going to like it. So that's
That's
what was an
awesome.
easy way for me to get in the 5 stars.
Yeah, I bet your Airbnbs look really cool too. Cause I mean, your background is really amazing. I'm like, I have a plain wall behind me. You got like the shoes and the neon signs and like,
Yeah.
you've spent some time clearly. And so I'm sure you take that level of detail with everything that you do in terms of making sure the experience is great for Airbnb guests as well. But before you got into everything you're doing now, can you tell us a little bit about your journey? Like, did you work with sneakers before? Did you kind of like work at a Foot Locker to get this passion?
hmm
Like, how did that all work? Tell us your origin
Damn,
story.
that's funny because a lot of people haven't asked me that question if I worked like at a Foot Locker before, like when I've done these. So it's funny because I'm from Portland, Oregon. For those that don't know, home of Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, King, Kohan,
I didn't realize they're
Doc
all over
Martin.
there.
There's a lot of headquarters out here, and
Cool.
you got Intel and all that stuff too. But when it comes to sneakers, this is the place. This is where it all comes from. So I've been immersed in sneakers my entire life. Since I came out the womb, I had a fresh pair of OG Jordans. Back then, they weren't OGs; they were just the thing that came out.
Yeah.
But my parents kept me laced for a long time when I was in grade school, middle school, and then when I got to high school, that's when they were like, "No more shoes. You got to figure it out yourself. You grown now." And I was like, "I'm 15. What am I supposed to do?"
You're like,
So
I'm used to these
kind of
nice
got the
shoes now.
yeah. So me, I'm like, I love sneakers. Like there was times when I was a little, even in grade school, like I got in trouble for like not going outside and playing with all the other kids in the rain because I had my nice Jordans on and I didn't want to mess them up. So I stayed
Dang.
in, like, it was just stuff like that where I was like, I love sneakers since I was a little kid. Like I remember one time I was like, you know how you got to sit crisscross applesauce and you in kindergarten?
You're like, nope,
Literally, I
not doing it.
remember in kindergarten, I was like, the carpet is dirty. Every time I do it, it gets my shoes dirty because they never clean the carpets. You know, they don't be cleaning them kindergarten
Right. It's
carpets.
all
But
dusty.
anyways, yeah, to say the least, I love sneakers. I have been immersed into it for a long time. So by the time I got to high school, that's when I was like, I'm gonna start collecting. Like I got to
Yeah.
figure it out myself. How is this gonna work? So I ended up working at the family restaurant my sophomore and my junior year of high school, and all my money went into my little Honda Accord and my shoes. I was just by the first year of collecting, I had already got over 100 pairs of shoes within like 6 or 7 months, just in my sophomore year of high school. And then junior year came and everybody was like, "Oh, this is the kid with the kicks," because I was like, I was rocking something fresh. And it was funny because I got fired from my parents' restaurant my junior year in high school. And I'm like, I literally got fired from my dad. This is crazy.
Dang.
And I told my dad, I was like, I will never work for anybody. I was like, what, 17, 16, 17, I think. I was like, I'll never work for anybody else. You had control of what I made my money, and this is how I was doing my passion. So from this day on, I'm not working for nobody else. And he was like, all right, well, you better figure it out. And I was like, okay. So then from that day on, it was funny because when you said the Foot Locker thing, this is where this all comes back. I started applying for like Foot Locker, Finish Line Champs, all the stores at the mall and stuff because I was like, oh, I'm a sneakerhead, be perfect. I can make some money and do the thing. But
Yeah.
then I was like, it was funny because I got denied by the three people, the three stores at the mall. And I'm like, how is this possible? I'm the biggest sneakerhead out of all these people that work here. Like, they don't even know nothing about the shoes.
Right.
And then that was like the stamp that was just like proven, like, you shouldn't be doing this. Do it all by yourself. Like, figure it out.
Yeah.
So I started kind of getting into the whole like, well, if I'm buying all these shoes and everybody's asking me for kicks, like, how about I just charge them like 20, 30, $50 for helping out? And I go get the extra pair and then I sell it to them and I can make my little bit of money. And now that'll come into my cost and I can maybe even get a free pair of shoes. If I sell 3 or 4 pairs, put
Yeah.
all the little profits together, that'll cover my costs. So by the time senior year came, I was like stacking up this huge collection and I literally wore a brand new pair of shoes every single day of high school in my senior year. Like I would not wear the same pair of shoes again. I would wear them one time and either sell them or just be like, they're a part of my collection. I'm not gonna wear them until next year.
Wow. That's amazing.
So it kind of just like pushed me to do those things, and I was like, I'm gonna figure it out. And then that's when I was like definitely like more learning the hustle of flipping the kicks and doing the things and buying them cheaper and cleaning them up and then getting a little bit more value out of them and then selling them again and then blowing them up and stuff like that. So I really flipped up my collection from the original money that I had from my sophomore and junior year of high school. And that's where it all started, was the little bit of money I was making during the summer working
Wow.
at my parents' restaurant. And then from there, it was like flipping kicks, flipping kicks, flipping kicks, building up this collection. And I was like, one day I'm going to buy a car with this money. And then by the time senior year came, I was like, no, I should buy a house. Like, that's probably smarter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Cause I mean, at first you said you put all your money from working at the family restaurant into like shoes and your car. I just
Mhm.
think there's like, sometimes people that you see who are putting all their money into their car and they're like, dude, it's like a depreciating thing, put it into real estate or
Right,
something. But the fact that
right.
you've turned it into a business, like your passion, it's not like you were wasting money on shoes. You were putting it into something you're passionate about. And I love how you kind of caught yourself there. You're like, wait, instead of another car or whatever, like instead of putting this into a car, let me buy a house and get some
Yeah.
tenants in there and start playing the real estate game. So it was just kind of cool to hear that too. Cause I mean, behind you, I see all these really cool kicks. And the fact
Hmm.
that you've been at it forever and that you've been passionate about it is just super exciting for anyone who thinks that you can't make money doing what you love. Like you're a clear example that
For
yes, you
real.
can, right?
Yeah, and that's again like I created the hobby to hustle program because of that. It was like I turned my hobby into my hustle, and it all essentially, you know how it is. Like, business is business. You change the industries, it's essentially the same fundamental concepts
Right. Like
between all the
marketing,
industries, right?
sales.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all the same stuff. It's just like the way we look at it. So I like to use those comparisons of sneakers and real estate and talk about like equity in the shoe and all these different things. And people are like, stay in your lane, da 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 da. And I'm like, bro, first off, like, I already got a few houses. That's not the issue. So I know what I'm talking about. I got
Right.
experience in that lane too. But like, why can't we teach the young selves? Like, I didn't have an older brother. So why
Yeah.
can't I be that cool older brother, older cousin, lookalike type dude that's like helping the young people know that there's value in sneakers and they can do something cool with it too, compared to being like, oh, you got to keep up with the Jones and spend your money just to look
Right.
fresh and then you get nothing out of it. Like, nah, there's value in it.
Exactly. And a lot of people wouldn't understand that at first. You'd be like, you're wasting your money buying shoes that you wear once, but you were making a business out of it, like, marking them up, selling them,
Hmm.
helping other people as a service of getting two pairs of shoes, giving them one and making your money, right? So it's really
Right.
cool to see. I mean, you've been at it for a long time. So you got your YouTube channel. How many subscribers? You're at like 220,000 something at the moment.
Man, I've been growing quick this past month. I don't know what is going on, but I just
Everyone's
hit
buying shoes.
230 now. Yeah, I just hit
Congrats, man.
230,000 on there, and then I've been cracking like 100K on all the other platforms and stuff. Everything's just been like going good when it comes to the social media stuff, and that
That's
all
awesome.
drives like towards my business as well. And it's just like
Right.
having strategy behind, each platform, and what is its perfect purpose, and why am I posting this type of video on that type of platform, and where am I sending them after they see the video? Because like
Yeah.
everybody wants to be cool and famous on the internet and stuff, but it's like you're missing out on so many opportunities if you're not looking at like where are people going after they watch your video. Are they going to watch
Right.
something else? Or are they following through with what you tell them to do, and they're getting on that email list or going to that product or whatever it is that you have to offer?
Exactly. So with your YouTube channel and everything, like creating content, when did that start? Because obviously you said you've been a sneakerhead forever, but when did you start
Hmm.
saying, let me document this and maybe I can make, get a couple of subscribers or whatever on YouTube?
Yeah.
Obviously you probably didn't know it would blow up to what it is now through all the hard work and effort and consistency, but like how long have you been at the content creation game?
So it's actually funny because I'm gonna go back from way back. Like
Yeah, go
I've
way back.
always loved I've always loved movies. Like I always been like, one day I'm gonna make a movie. That was always my thing. But I was like in school playing football, pursuing the NFL, like all that stuff. And I'm like, even if I go to the NFL and make all this money, I'm gonna make a movie one day. Like that was still always in the back of my head.
Yeah.
So YouTube started in like early 2000s or something like that. And I remember when I was in high school, when I first started like doing sneaker stuff, I used to make YouTube videos of me and my friends boxing on the trampoline, and I had a pair of boxing gloves in my trunk, and we would always like fight each other, like literally at school, outside, wherever. Like if there was ever any
Make a
issues, it was
video.
like
Yeah.
grab the gloves, pull out the cameras, we're about to make a video and we're about to have some fun. So that was like original. I cannot find those videos either. I want to find them so bad. Um, but yeah, so I was like on YouTube when it like first started, and I didn't even realize like what I was getting myself into. It was just like we were having fun, messing around, being stupid,
Yeah.
15, 16 years old. And then by the time I got to end of high school and I was doing the sneaker thing, I was like, okay, cool, let's start a business. And I called it Flight School. And that's where it was like, I'm gonna be, the one that has the place where you can just come, enjoy yourself, get dope stuff, do free giveaways, have good deals on sneakers, me teach you about things, just all types of stuff. So that was the business where I was reselling sneakers, and that's where things really propelled when I started working with like pro athletes and doing all the cool stuff on the back end with consulting with Nike and Adidas and all that stuff.
Sweet.
And with that, that's why I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a YouTube channel, and if I do YouTube channels, this will increase my sales on my website, because if I'm reviewing the sneakers that I'm buying for the website, then people will see them and they're like, oh, where can I get those? I'm like, well, you can get them from me. So that
Right.
was like my next step of like YouTube seriousness, like by the time I got out of high school. And then like the second year, I like got to the monetization point, and I didn't know how it worked. So I was hitting all the ads on the videos to see like if I was gonna get paid. And I made like 32 cents or something like that. And I got demonetized like the next day,
For
because it was
clicking
like
it
me
yourself or
running,
what?
yeah, because it was me running up the ads, and I was like, bro, what? Like I messed up. Like
For 32
so
cents.
yeah, so it was stupid. So I did that, and I was like, you know what? I'm done with YouTube. Like I can't do this. This is crazy. And then by the time I got out of college, I was like, but I still want to make videos. Like maybe I'm not done. I always wanted to do it. I was just salty about it. So I was like, you know what? Make a whole new channel, new thing, all this new stuff. Like we're gonna figure it out. And then I didn't really know much about like the videos and crazy editing and all that stuff. It
Yeah.
was more just like trying to get leads to sell more sneakers and stuff like that. So college gets done, 2017, the idea arises again, and I'm like, I should make a channel. And then like, so I go out to a Complex Con. I think that was, yeah, the end of 2017 in November. Just kind of just mess around, make the first video. Throughout 2018, it was like make a couple videos, see how this stuff goes. And then by the time 2019 came, I was like, all right, I think I want to like try this. Like this is like something I really like doing. I'm having fun editing and making videos and thinking ideas and stuff, doing the reviews. So the end of 2019 came. I paid for a conference, and that was like one thing that I always tell people: please invest into yourselves. Don't be scared to buy that $1,000 ticket to that conference and have to pay for that flight and hotel and stuff. Just know, I guarantee you, every time you go to these conferences, there's at least one or two things that you get out of it that is way more valuable than all the money that you spent on a
Yeah.
trip. So
100%.
people are scared of it, and trust me, I'm a believer of it now because I was scared too. And I went to the conference. I had about like 9 or 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I was like, I'm ready to turn it up. Let's see what's up. This is gonna be serious now. So I go, and this is in October. I learn a bunch of stuff. I implement it all on the channel. I go from 10,000 to 30,000 by New Year's night. On
Dang.
strike of midnight, I hit 30,000. It was crazy. Like as it hit midnight, it hit. I was watching it. I
Wow.
wasn't even worried about the ball. Like
You're looking
it
at your
was crazy. So
subscribers. Yeah.
yeah, this is wild, right? Like so that happens, and then I hit up like 100K right after that, 200K the next year, and then now we're here, and it's like just
Sweet.
learning all those things, implementing all that stuff. But that's like kind of the short version of it. There's a lot of things in between the process.
That's really cool. And that's a huge nugget too for everyone listening, that you can't be afraid to invest in the $1,000 ticket and, obviously do your due diligence. There's some fake gurus out there that everyone
Oh
warns
yeah, for
about
sure,
where they're going to sell you some $20,000 thing. And you're like, dang, I didn't even learn anything in this or whatever. Right. So obviously kind of follow that. Don't just spend money on things without doing some due diligence. But I love the fact that
for
you're
sure.
like, you're always going to learn a couple things where it makes it absolutely worth it. A lot of people look at costs. They don't see it as an investment. There's going to be an
Right,
ROI if you're going to the right
right.
conference, right? You're going to meet the right people who can help connect the dots for you and get you to the next level.
That's exactly what I was gonna say because it's all funny because I actually went to that conference and the guy that introduced us
That's
is
where
the
you met
one
him.
that I met I met him as well, and I met a lot of people at
Wow.
that conference, and in my YouTube journey. So it's crazy how that was a few years ago, and I'm still talking to those people today. So look at how many times those interactions and little nuggets that I've learned with people over the
Yeah.
years, not only just what you done in that 1 week or whatever, but look at that long lasting from that one time, me being scared, spending that, 1,000, 1,500 bucks plus travel and stuff, like spending a little bit of money, but it's like slowly just keep working for itself, still to this day.
Man, it's almost like a video that you put out. I was just out of curiosity seeing like, what's your most popular videos? And I saw you had a
Hmm.
video on like how to remove the crease from the front of your shoe.
Oh yeah.
I was like
Yep.
checking that one out just to kind of get a feel for, you before we started talking. But I
Hmm.
think of all these seeds that you plant, it's like the videos that you made 4 or 5 years ago will still continue to get views today from new
For
people who
sure.
find you, right? So like all those little connections you made at conferences and the guy who introduced us, like now we're a connection, and then you might introduce me to someone else and I'll go talk to them, and like you
Yep.
kind of are making this web of connections and content that it's not a one-time thing like, oh man, I'm never going to talk to DJ again. Like maybe I'll see you at the next conference and be like, hey DJ,
No, for
remember when we
real.
did that conversation?
Yeah. Nah, I was on somebody's podcast like 6 months ago and I seen him at VidCon like a few
Yeah.
weeks ago. And I was like, I didn't even know the dude. We got introduced. Next thing you know, we was cool. We ended up doing a deal with somebody else and it all
Right.
just kind of unlined. Like it was crazy. So and yeah, so like you were saying too, for people like look at who's on the card, who's speaking, and who you think you could align with that's an actual speaker. Because
Mm-hmm.
some people are so scared to speak to the person. Yeah, it's all cool taking a photo with them and all that stuff. But like how can I add value to the person that's speaking and how can I help them find those things? And then now you can come up to that person and not only get the picture that you want and say hello, but also be like, hey, these are opportunities that I might have for you. And now you got a little pitch for each person that you're speaking with as you go throughout the event. So now you're like showing your value, showing your worth, and then they want to work with you. And they're like, who is this guy? This dude's on the cover. So that stuff is very important too. I know a lot of people, are like scared or shy or whatever, but you just gotta like step out the shell, have some fun, be you, know your worth, and just go out there and tell everybody what you can do.
Absolutely. So how do you approach for the speakers? Like if you find some speaker and how do you know like what they are looking for, how to add value to them when you approach them? Is that done beforehand? Like you try to add value before you even go to the conference? Can you elaborate
Hmm.
on that strategy a little bit?
I think it's a couple parts. I think it's when you're going to a conference and you already know who the creator is and you've seen all their stuff or who the motivational speaker or whatever it is that they do, the finance guru, whatever, right?
Yeah.
You probably know the big names and all their stuff because you've seen everything. So there you have to think in your head like, okay, how can I add value to them? What am I good at? And maybe some people they want to be like, oh, I want to do a collaboration with so and so and I got to be on the camera with them and all this stuff. Maybe you could be the one that plants the seed for an idea and you can help on the back end and maybe you not be on the face of it, but you might get a percentage of equity in something, or you might still
Right.
make some bread, or you build that first connection where you help them create that video and get the things that they needed because they didn't have the resources, but you did. And then now you're on the back end, they do the video, they have a success. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna call you again and be like, bro, I need some help. I need this, I need that. So
Yeah.
thinking about those things on the front and back end before you come into the bigger name people. And then when you hear those smaller people that, they got a good following, but you just don't know about them because the internet's crazy, right? We're all popping in our own little worlds. Like
Yep.
nobody knows who I am, but I got a bunch of followers, like, right? So
Right.
for those type of things, like when you see those type of people on stage, think about that in your head while you're learning. Also think about like, oh, I kind of like this person. Like I think we could think like do something. So you got to be quick on your feet at the same time because usually they're
Yeah.
on the stage for 15 to 30 minutes. So you're like, all right, what can I think of in this period of time? Because you know how after they come off the stage and then you got the
Everyone
chance to
comes
take a
up.
picture or whatever
Yeah.
and all this stuff. So like be patient, wait. I always like wait to the end. I don't like to be rushed. So I'm like, let me be one of the last ones. Especially when they're like, oh, I gotta go, I gotta go. But then when you hit them a good idea, they're like, wait, what'd you
Okay, I
say?
got a
And
couple
then that's when
minutes.
they're like, oh, I gotta stay. Yeah. So that's always kind of my tactic on that as well.
Cool.
But yeah, you just got to kind of think on your feet of how you can have value in the moment and when you see them beforehand.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And sometimes it's tough because people are not really prepared and they're just like, they get the picture. I've taken the selfie with Neil Patel, for example, at like a affiliate
Right.
marketing conference in 2018. And he
Mm-hmm.
looked like he had to get on stage and like I was kind of rushed. I didn't get to ask him any
Yeah.
questions or anything. Right. And
Yeah.
I also wanted to respect his time, but like adding value and doing it, in a quick and effective way and
Right.
getting them engaged enough where they're willing to stay. That's really cool. Where they're like, okay, actually, I got a couple minutes. What's up? What's your question? How can I help? Right.
Yeah.
You kind of
Yeah.
buy your way in by adding value up front instead of just asking like pesky questions and being like annoying about it. Like so many people are, they're just trying to take and take and take, and you're coming at it from how do I give? Right.
Yeah. Do that first for sure because we already know, like, prime example, Mr. Beast, right? Everybody's gonna be asking him for stuff. And it's like I've been in 3 of his videos and I'm like, what can I do to have some fun? How can I help? I'm still working on it today to try to find new ways to help him with creative stuff
Yeah.
in the future and like other creators as well. And me, like now I'll just be sending creators like shoes for free. I don't ask for nothing. I'm like, hey bro, I got you. Like what size you wear? I got you. Like, let me take care of you. If you ever in
That's
LA
awesome.
or somewhere out there, like I got a shop out there. So if you need shoes or something, we'll take care of you. If you want to do pop-ups, like so then finding those leverage points of seeing, because everybody wants sneakers, everybody wants to look fly when they're on social
Yeah.
media and stuff. So it's like, let me be that guy that helps you out.
That's cool. Like the sneaker plug for sure. You say, what's your
Exactly.
favorite color? What's your favorite brand? All right, I got this thing for you. I'm going to surprise you. And you kind of ship them a box. That's really cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of people who do that pretty well. Like I've connected with some people on podcasts, or maybe we do a call and they ask like, hey bro, what's your address? I want to send you something, like a thank you. And they'll send like a care package. And I'm kind of blown away. Like, dang, I didn't send them anything. I should start doing this. Right. So you become memorable because now I got like some stuff that people have given me that's their brand, or, maybe it's like whatever it is, doesn't matter. As long as it's something of value that I'm actually going to keep and not something that's like some cheap, knick-knack that you're going to throw away. It's got to be like from the heart. The thought matters for sure. But I think especially the fact that you're going that extra level and sending them quality stuff that they actually want, like that's really cool. Because I think if you slapped like your logo on there or something, you got this big annoying like logo on the front of the Nike
it's like,
logo.
you out here just
People be
promoing,
like,
bro.
dude, I'm never going to wear these shoes.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I remember I worked at a corporate company back in the day, and one of the suppliers, they were trying to get all good with, the buyers. I worked in purchasing where we were ordering stuff from them, and they gave us like really nice polo jackets, but it had their really annoying logo. It looked like a Taekwondo patch or something. I'm like, well, I ain't never wearing this. Right. So it was like $130 jacket. And I never wore it like once, because people would be like, what does that mean? And I'm just like, man, it's some company. Like, I don't know.
I feel that for sure.
Yeah, because people like to rep the brands that they love. You're representing like a company in a Nike. Like, just do it. I'm sure you've read Shoe Dog or listened to it on Audible, right? The Phil Knight book, really good book. So it stands for something. So I love that you're really focused on adding value to others that way.
And it's crazy too, because everybody wants like, oh, wear my shirt, wear this, wear that. And it's like, you forget that they already got their own brand that they're promoting. So it's like, why would they want to be promoting your stuff if they already got their own brand?
Yeah,
like,
they're going to self-promote.
like,
exactly. It makes sense. You always got to be repping, but I mean, for you, it's kind of cut off, but does it say DNA on your shirt, right?
Oh yeah, I got my DNA
show. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
I walk a big old billboard, you know what I mean? I'm like,
all the
I don't
time.
care if I got 1 million subscribers, I'm still gonna be out there like, hey, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the channel.
And that's the stuff that got you to where you are too, man, because you're persistent, you're growing, you're passionate about what you do. So it's really cool just to see that whether it's 1 million or even like your first 1,000 subscribers, you're still going to be promoting yourself and like putting good out there, collaborating with other people, networking, like you're never going to stop doing those things because like that's what you love doing.
Yeah, yeah. So for me, like I love being the one that gave somebody a pair of shoes and they have a story behind it of like, oh, DJ did this for me, and then they go out and wear it and live their life, and they got that little thing subconscious, like,
Thinking
oh,
about you.
he's the one that hooked me up, like, oh, this is dope, like, and then I see him again in person months or years later, and they're like, bro, I wore them shoes every day or whatever. So for me, it's super dope to like be a part of people. That's like a part of people's lives. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I love it. It's always fun for me. And that's what I loved about sneakers. Like when I was selling shoes back in the day was like I was hooking people up with the best prices I could so I could still be profitable at the same time, not taxing like everybody else. And that way they can be like, man, he hooked me up. Like he got me right. Like that was something
Yeah.
I always loved seeing because I remember being in that same seat of like, man, I can't really get it like that, but I want those bad. Like I'm trying to find a good deal and it's hard to find a good deal. So
Right.
I remember the other person's lens.
Exactly. So now for your business, are you doing like, I'm just curious if you don't mind sharing. I mean, of course, if there's anything confidential, you don't have to share. But
Yeah.
like for your business now, you've got your YouTube channel. I know you said you've got your, what was your program called?
Hobby to hustle.
Hobby to Hustle program for helping
Yeah.
people turn their hobby into a hustle.
Yeah.
You've got affiliate links, I'm sure, for different shoes. You've got
Oh yeah,
relationships
the
with
affiliates
different
go
people.
crazy.
Yeah.
The affiliates I had one affiliate with one brand and I got a Tesla from it because I made so much money. I still make so much money every month. Like it's
That's
crazy.
awesome.
Yeah.
So do you drive like traffic? You've got a couple of partnerships and you'll tell people, hey, if you want these shoes, go through this link, and that's like your affiliate partnership.
Honestly, I kind of do some stuff with selling sneakers, but mainly it's around a lot of the products in the industry because a
Cool.
lot of people think of like they see the main thing and they forget about all the other stuff that goes along with it. So if it's like the cleaners, the protectors, the cases, the this, the that, the bags, the travel bags, all the stuff. So
Dang,
it's like
yeah.
looking at all those items, finding the best items for the people, and then giving them a good in-depth review, showing them what it is, breaking it all down, showing them why I love it. Because all the things that I promote, I use. So that
Yeah.
way it's like it makes sense to me as well. And I'm not just like taking a check because I've been offered deals for brands that I'm just like, I'm not doing it, bro. Like I
Right.
tell everybody all the time, if McDonald's, I know people are probably gonna be thinking I'm crazy, but if McDonald's offered me $1 million, I'm not taking it for the deal. Even if there was like, we'll give you $1 million for a 10-second post, and I'd be like, no, like I don't support it. I haven't ate it since like 2005. Why
Right.
would I do that? Like that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. So I mean, everybody, well, what's the money? I'm like, it's against what I do. Like at the end of the day, I want to
Right.
have fun and be true to my brand. So that's the most important thing. And I think that authenticity allows me to then have that better influence when it comes to converting on sales and different things like that. Because
Yeah.
people know, like, oh yeah, he's rocking with this for sure. Like I can see why he likes it. I should get it too.
Yeah. And they can trust you because you're not like a sellout or whatever. You're not just promoting some random thing that you don't use just because you're getting paid. Like probably
Right.
back in the day, I was watching The Last Dance for a second time, and you see all like the basketball players back in the day. It's like they're in a McDonald's commercial and then they're in like a
Mm-hmm.
Gatorade commercial. Just because probably because of the money and the opportunities in the spotlight, right? Not because they necessarily use those products. But now I think a lot of people, like such as yourself, you're getting in better alignment with companies that you actually resonate with, and you're only going to promote
Yeah.
stuff that you love so that people can actually get a good experience. Because I'm sure the worst thing would be like you promote some shoes that suck and like the soles fall off in two months.
Yeah.
Like your followers
Nah.
will start to bounce, right? Go to another channel where they can trust what that person's saying.
And like it even hurts me sometimes because like I don't like Adidas Yeezys. So like I like Adidas, but I don't like Adidas Yeezys. Like to me, it's just not
Yeah.
my jam.
So
Like
you're not
I like
promoting that.
Nike Yeezys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, for that, all those shoes that have come out, like I could have done reviews and all the different things, which have could have grown my audience as well, like really big. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I was like, I'm staying true to my brand. I'm staying like I don't like orange sneakers that much, so I'm very selective on orange shoes. So there's a couple shoes that are orange that everybody loves, and it's their Grails, and it's like a $1,500 shoe. And
Dang.
I every time I get them, I'm like, I don't want to sell them. Like I don't care. Like I
Right.
don't even want to buy these. Like so, and I sell them for like what I get them for. Like I let somebody else get the blessing of like having them for a good price. Like
Yeah.
it's just not with what I like. So for me, yeah, I just pick I know what I know, and I know what I like, and I just stay true to that. It's kind of like the Gary Vee thing. Like he
Yeah.
preaches the same stuff over and over and over again, and that's how I am in my world.
That's cool. That's cool. Speaking of Gary Vee and content creators, I'm curious. I mean, you threw out Mr. Beast's name earlier. Do you have any YouTubers or content creators that you've kind of been inspired by since you started, like before you started your channel, that you still kind of follow or look up to?
I think honestly, it's like weird because I don't know if it's creators, but I think when I think of like people have built a business through like content and stuff outside of that in other industries. I know Will Smith is like on some other stuff right now, but if you think about it, like all the things that he've created and like from that longevity of years and all the things he's done, like that's somebody who I would look up to in
Yeah.
that sense. So it's not even as much YouTubers, but like I really love, I know again, Kevin Hart, everybody has their,
Kevin Hart's
issues with
cool.
celebrities.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like the business that he's been able to build, the opportunities that he's created for other people and all those things that have aligned for him to now have this huge empire
That's
around,
cool.
shows on YouTube or movies or other people's shows on HBO or whatever it is, Hulu, you name it. Like that's the type of stuff that I'm looking up to, inspired by, to try to be someday. So I can't really truly name. I'm trying to think if I could even. I mean, technically, those people have YouTube channels, but if I
Yeah.
think of like YouTubers, I don't know. Like
Yeah. I get
that's
it. I
who
get
I like. The
it.
Rock, Kevin Hart, Will Smith, like them three especially. Like that's what I like the most, I would say.
That's cool. I can agree with that. And I mean, if you've ever heard like Kevin Hart's interviews on, I guess he was on Joe Rogan's podcast. I think I've heard him on a few different podcasts. It's cool to hear his
Yeah.
story and just practicing lines over and over and over again and how they've created brands and businesses. And I really look up to all those people you mentioned, like Will Smith, The Rock,
Nick
Nick
Cannon too.
Cannon. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. They've like reinvented themselves time and time again. They've stayed relevant, right? It's not like they were a one-hit wonder from like a movie and that was it. Like,
Hmm.
no, they're still active in directing movies and being in movies and putting them together and
And they created so many more opportunities for
for
other people.
others. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So like that, with all of them, you could find that thing. It's like not only they just have success and they were being great, but then they created so many opportunities for other people to
Yeah.
then propel their careers and make money and have all them other people underneath them that have the, the salary jobs or whatever, that are the videographers, editors, all that stuff, like
Dang,
the
you're right.
massive teams that they have. Like, so to me, that's super dope because I'm like, one day I want to be able to do that. And like I said, I just got a couple people on my team and
Yeah.
this is my start. So who knows, maybe 10 years from now, I'm gonna be doing that same thing. We shall see.
I bet, man. I have no doubts at all. That's really cool. And that's one thing like entrepreneurs and just business owners, you're creating jobs, you're providing opportunities for other people. I just chatted with a friend who's in a business group that I'm in, and he's got 150 employees. And 2 years ago, he was sharing the story. He was a bouncer at a club, like kicking people out.
Sheesh.
And now he's got like
Sheesh.
150 employees, 7-figure business. Like he's feeding other
That's what's
people's
up.
families too. Just like all these people, it's not just about like our success. I mean, yeah, it'll be really cool to have 1 million subscribers on YouTube, but like how many opportunities are you creating for other people? Like
Right.
that's your opportunity to give back on top of doing what you love every single day. So that's really cool.
Hmm. Yeah. So I think my first kind of thing I'm pushing for right now is helping my dad get towards his retirement because he keeps
Yeah,
talking about it. So I'm like, how can I create something for us to do together or whatever, and then just give him all the money that's made from it,
that's
and
cool.
then I just have fun and all the experiences, and then we can monetize it through YouTube and different things like that. So we kind of
Yeah,
just started with like mini podcast style episodes of us going through sneakers and stuff on our main channel, but eventually we'll like start our own channel and do the whole thing and have a whole
sweet.
setup and stuff. But
Like you and
we're
your
just
dad.
trying to get the ball rolling. Yeah, it's actually pretty funny.
That's funny. There was this guy. I don't know if you ever knew, because I know you said you can't think of like a YouTube person that comes to mind, but like there was this guy named Kev Jumba back in the day. I don't know if he's still doing his thing, but he had like a comedy channel, probably a couple million
Hmm.
subscribers. And he was from like Sugar Land, Texas, where like my family lives out in that area.
Yeah, right outside of
And
Houston.
yeah, his dad was always like this funny Asian dad in all the videos who would like be in his skits, and he would just be like super popular. Everyone's like, hey, we need to see more of Kevin's dad, right?
Yeah,
And one
yeah.
time I saw him at a cell phone store and I was like, hey, can I get a picture with you? Because like I knew who he was. And then someone else was like, is he like a celebrity? Like kind of like you said, you've got 230,000 subscribers, even though you might walk
Right,
outside and your neighbors don't know who you are, like that you have that kind
right.
of following, right? So it's just cool to see the impact that you can have like in the world, even though people in your neighborhood
Yeah.
may not know you.
My dad be like, I don't even go to my name no more. Like, I'm just known as DJ's dad.
That's cool, man.
I
That's
was
cool.
like, I
DJ's
was like,
dad.
it is what it is.
Hey, you created the platform and you grew the channel. So now DJ's dad, that's it. He's got to create an
Right.
Instagram profile with that.
No, for real.
That's awesome, man. So where do you see yourself? I know you got obviously big plans next 10 years, 5, 10 years. Like what are your main goals? Obviously building up the sneaker business, the courses and things that you're doing. Do you have anything in mind, or you kind of have like an idea and you piece it together as you go?
Yeah, so I'm in the looks for buying my fourth property. I'm looking to, upsize a little bit, get a bigger spot, and have a better creative space to have just everything in there that I need and expand, my opportunities with different channels and more content getting pumped out more often
Yep.
to try to double my output. So that's one thing that I'm on heavy right now to finish off this year. And then next year, I think it's just starting the campaign of like, I want to live the house I'm going to move into. I'm probably going to live there for like three. I don't want to live there for 5 years, but hopefully 3 years, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And then start pushing to like build a bigger like property that I really want to have like crazy fun with.
Yeah.
And that'll be like hopefully 3 to 5 years, that'll be completed. And then that'll be like putting me on that path for that. And then besides that, I'm sure by then I'll be able to do both things at the same time. I want to buy a warehouse and have it as like a dope creative space, and then open it up for kids to come in, young kids that, in high school, create a program and give them all the tools that they need. So they have like the initial like vlogging setup with the hard drive and everything. They'll come in, they'll have the computer lab, they can edit. I'll have a full like tutorial breakdown. Plus we'll have like weekly meetups and different stuff like that. And then I'll have like different classes that graduate. So basically, like each year, we have freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, all this stuff, and then it'll be like, let's say 10. So we got 40 students throughout the whole program, and then each year they graduate. But because we live here, now I can bring in people from Nike, Adidas, different stuff like that, to now give them
Super cool.
opportunities to work with the brands. And then I know a bunch of YouTubers that I collaborate with. So great, now they can come in and learn from those creators that I'm collaborating with and sit on set and see all the behind the scenes stuff, or even potentially be in the videos, and then have the opportunity to schedule collaborations with me. So I would block out a certain time of my week, every single week or, month or whatever, and then be like, hey, you guys all get X amount of collaborations with me. That way it's a fair game, not like, oh, you're picking favorites. You like this
Yeah.
one more than me. It's like, no, you guys all get 2 collaborations. Come be creative, whatever you want to do, execute. If it fails, that's up to you. You got to figure it out. And then that way, like, it's giving them the opportunities, the tools, and everything they need. And then I think it would be amazing because now I can create my own kind of network of that. And I would take ownership. I would take 10% ownership in all the channels. And then I would take the ad revenue and the brand deals that we bring to the kids. And I would then refunnel that money back into them when they graduate. So they can either use it
Wow.
as a college scholarship, or they can put the money into their business plan that they have. They pitch the idea. And then we say, hey, this is what you get for that. So then, say, for example, the junior class is able to create $250,000 in ad revenue over the years. And by the time they're a senior, they hit 325,000. There's 10 kids. Well, they all split the money equally. It's just a
That's
fair
awesome.
game that that way we'll make it fair. So this is something that I'm just working on, and it's an idea, and I'm just trying to put it out there and
Yeah,
just
I
keep
love
thinking
it.
about it more and more. I've always thought about it, but I think past like 3 to 4 months, especially, I've been like thinking about it more and more. And now I've been, talking with people and just kind of ironing out the thought process and how it all work. And okay, well, we're gonna need some employees to, let the kids in, give them a safe space to do homework, even if they don't want to come and create or whatever, and
Right.
have family night with the kids so the other kids can meet the other kids' families, and we bring them together and show them, hey, we're doing something good. And if you're not a part of your family and they don't want to show up and support you, this is gonna be something that's gonna expose that, because we know like this is who's here for you. Because sometimes everybody's family members don't support them.
Right.
And if the kids got something good going and they feel down about it, they don't end up doing what they really want to do because they feel like nobody supports them. And I know there's a lot of people out there that's like that. And it's like, nah,
Hmm.
bro, you got it. Like, we here for you. Come and create, come and be great. Like, everybody's on the team together. We can all do this. So I just want to
Man.
create that environment to do something dope and have fun. And then obviously give me another creative space to make cool videos as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love how detailed of your answer was. Like, clearly you've thought about this because you just, rambled about it for like 5 minutes. It wasn't like, oh, I'd like to have a warehouse. Like, you went into the
Yeah,
detail, and also just giving back to these people who maybe they don't have family members that support them, or, their parents fire
right.
them from the job in high school.
Yeah, yeah.
But I
So
love that you're really giving
yeah,
back and like focusing on, man, you're going to teach them how to have a skill that they can use forever, right? If they know how to
yeah, to
create
really build a
videos and
business.
edit and make
Yeah,
money, like, man, they might not even have to go to college if they don't want to. Like, they might just have a YouTube channel with 200,000 subscribers and a bunch of sponsors already.
Right.
That's kind of better ROI than most degrees out there these days, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I'm like, oh yeah, I hate college. I'm not a fan of it, but I played
But you went to
football in
school, you
college,
played
so I
football.
had to
Okay.
go to school. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
I
got to
mean,
be
I went to
eligible to play
college too.
football, so
Yeah.
you gotta, it's like a thing. But I was
Yeah.
like, well, since I'm playing football and I got to be eligible, I might as well graduate, right?
Right.
I'm
Right. And I
already
mean, I
there.
talk crap about
But
college too, but I went, I finished, I got my degree. It
yeah,
opened up some
and then
doors,
did
but
nothing.
it
I'm
opened
like,
up
I
a
didn't
few
apply for nothing.
connections. Yeah. I didn't even bring my
Yeah,
degree when my fiance and I moved from Houston to Denver last year. I was like, we don't have room in the U-Haul for my degree. Like, I don't need to bring
a little
it.
piece of paper.
For real. Like, I don't need a fancy frame on the wall. Like, even with your
Right.
background and your setup, it's not like you have your university back there. It's like you've
I don't
got
even know where my degree is at.
right. You've got your cool neon sign DNA show and the shoes. Like, you have your own studio setup. And I love
Yeah.
the vision, man. Just hearing you talk about your visions, like, man, I need to expand my vision. Cause I tend to be like,
Just
oh, that's pretty good. Like, let me just chill.
have you listened or read the John D. Martini book?
Yes, Leland got me onto
Bro,
that book, man. I was
yes,
just like,
it's
whoa.
fire. Yeah, that's definitely huge for helping you just like think a little bit bigger.
The Wealth
Going back
Mastery
revision that book.
Library,
Yeah,
right? By Dr. John D.
yep,
Martini, for everyone listening.
yep.
Highly recommend. You
Yeah,
got
that will
any other
expand your mind
books?
for sure.
Any other books you recommend?
Bro, you know what's funny? I just got into audiobooks like not that long ago. So I
Dude.
never really like read books or anything like that. I was like never my thing. Like I'll read some blogs sometimes, but
Yeah,
I mainly like watch a lot of videos or just like to talk and network with people and hear their experiences.
for
I'm
sure.
more of like that type of stuff. Like I don't like reading the books or doing all that. I
I
want to be
think it
like, yo,
depends
how'd
on
you
the
mess
type of
up? Like,
books.
yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, audiobooks are cool because you can multitask when you're driving. Like, I used to hate
so much
books,
easier.
man. They made us read Seabiscuit and these boring books in school, right? I'm like, I don't care about this
Yeah,
horse. This book's so freaking
yep.
thick. But now I'm surrounded by books about, like launching internet businesses or influence, like the psychology of persuasion. Like, I love learning new
Hmm.
things about, okay, I'm pretty good at the sales pitch. How do I really motivate someone to want to take action on what I'm trying to sell them, right? Like those
For
little,
sure.
but like you mentioned, conversations, you go to a conference and talk to someone who's got 2 million subscribers, you're going to learn more than reading 3 books from someone who hasn't done it, right?
That's what I'm saying. Because most times, 9 times out of 10, like people want you to not make the mistakes they made and shortcut your process
Yeah.
in a good way. Not be like, how everybody's like, well, if I cut corners, then I can do it this, and then it's like not a good product. But it's like, no, if you do this more efficiently this
You'll get there.
way, then you'll get there faster. Not cutting
Yeah,
corners, but just being smarter about it. Like that's
man.
a big thing people misconstrue too, because it's like, oh yeah, I could just do this and that. I'm like, nah, bro, you got to still do it right. You just got to do it smarter.
Yeah, you still got to do the work. But the fact that you align yourself with the right people and maybe they tell you about a certain book and you listen to that,
Hmm.
it'll get you there faster because you're shortcutting instead of wasting time on the wrong resources. You go straight to the source. You find the mentor or the business coach who's been there. That's going to be a lot more helpful information. But even going back to what you said earlier about like the kids who may not have the parents that support them, like a lot of times we give a lot of weight to our parents and our families because like that was our authority figure growing up, right?
Hmm.
Clean your room or you get grounded type thing. Like you have to
Right.
listen to them. So a lot of times we get stuck taking advice from our families and parents, and maybe they have never achieved the goals that we want to achieve, and we're letting them kind of keep us stuck sometimes. So I
For
love that you
sure.
want to create that resource for people to be like, no, man, you guys got it. You have the skills. Here's the resources. Let's get you to where you want to go because it's possible.
Right. Yeah. I always had that. Like, I always be talking that with my dad all the time. Even my mom too. I'll be like, I didn't make it to the NFL, but I'm gonna make NFL money. Just worry. Like, it's gonna come.
Yeah,
So
and you don't got to
that's
worry
how I
about
be all the time.
concussions or
Like, yeah,
anything.
like we're gonna figure that out. Like, I'm gonna still figure it out. Don't worry. Because some
Yeah,
people, yeah, like they'll hold you back and they don't see the vision. But luckily, my parents, which is huge for me, right? My parents believe in all the things that I'm doing, so it
yeah,
makes it a lot easier for me to be like, yo, this is my idea. This is what I'm trying to do. Do
right.
you know anybody? Can I get some help? Like, whatever.
Man, that's inspiring. And really, they kind of got you on this whole shoe thing anyway, right? If they were giving you fresh kicks since you were a baby,
Yeah, it's all
so
their fault. It's all their fault.
technically they're like, well, we should get 50% of your business because we planted the seed in
uh,
your mind.
hey, I'll be hooking them up with kicks. I'm
Oh,
telling you
I
right
bet.
now, they got kicks. Like
DJ's
you'll
dad
never
has
see
some
the
fresh
flyest
kicks.
parents out there. Yeah, all of them. Everybody got staying fresh in my family.
That's amazing, man. Christmas must be great. Everyone's got a new pair of
Oh,
kicks.
yeah, no problem.
That's really cool, man. Well, I know we're kind of like nearing the end of our time, and I want to be respectful of your time, but this has been a really fun conversation. And again, just talking to people like you helps me think bigger, want to do more, need to get clearer on my vision like you are. You know exactly the computer lab and all those different things and a station for homework. Like it's clear that you've been manifesting everything in your mind from taking action and going to the right conferences and stuff. So is there any one takeaway that you would recommend the audience follow if they were just going to do like one thing today? Would you have any takeaway or actionable step they should take?
I think if you were to do something today, a lot of people, they want to get into real estate, they want to do all those things, but they still haven't fully taken the time to really be honest with themselves and tell themselves, where do I really stand financially? And how much time do I have to do things? Am I actually wasting time on things? And am I being efficient as I can possibly be to still be able to spend time with my family and do things that are important to me as well without working all the time? So break down your life, understand where you stand, good debt, bad debt, how much cash you got, how many valuable assets you got. Why do you have those things that are just sitting in the closet that could have been sold a long time ago to get you extra couple $1,000? All that stuff. Like those are things that you can do right now. And you might, next thing you know, you got $10,000 next week and you didn't even realize it because you did this thing and now you're ready to start your business. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
think about that. And I know people say, well, I've done that. Yeah, but did you really do it? Did you really be honest with yourself? Because if you're not true to yourself, like your audience ain't gonna believe you. Your customers ain't gonna believe you. They're not gonna rock with it. So just trust yourself, know yourself. And from there, it'll be a lot easier once you get a better vision. That's all.
Man, that is such great advice because a lot of times we need to take inventory of what we really want, right? People say they want something, but their actions don't back it up and they really don't want it deep down. They're just kind of saying they want it. They think they want it. And you're right that everyone's got stuff laying around. We could sell and make some extra cash if we really needed to, right? So it's about being resourceful as well, not just relying on resources to get us out of the hole that we're in or wherever we want to go. You got to be resourceful and take action.
Yeah, and like you said with that too, don't be afraid to ask for help. Like I tell everybody else, like I just told you, this is my vision. This is what I'm trying to do. I put that energy out in the world. Every single person heard about what I'm trying to do. Now there could be 3 people that's like, ooh, maybe I want to help. Now I'm telling y'all, I need help. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't gotta be perfect. You don't gotta do all them things. Like, ask for help. It's okay. Like, we're all here to help each other. We want to see each other grow. Like, there's people that want to see you succeed. Like, no, there's somebody out there. Like,
and as you continue to tell people more and more, your idea and your vision is going to get more clear. And maybe you tell it to someone who's like, no way, I was looking for some kind of opportunity like this. Like I got 10 million in the bank and you seem like the person to take this to the finish line. Let's partner up. Right.
Yeah, but you just gotta stand up. You just gotta stand up and tell the world, like, this is my vision. So yeah, when you putting down that list of all your things, like think about all the people too that's in your life. Like, do I need to be spending more time with this person, or do I need, like, or man, I should be following up with this dude. Why am I not following up with him? Like, he's a good person for my life. Like, why am I not taking advantage of having a good, stronger relationship with this person? Like, all those things as well are going to be very valuable because they're right there at your fingertips.
100%. And I think the challenge is there's so many things, so many connections. We all got like 3,000 plus friends on Facebook, let alone Instagram followers or whatever, right? Like if you got 200 something thousand followers and people are DMing you all the time, it can get very frustrating. Like, man, I can't even reply to all these people. I got videos to make and I got this conference coming up. So being intentional about those relationships, like if you feel someone's good for you in your life, making the time, hey man, let's go get lunch, or why don't we connect next week? Let's jump on a Zoom call. Those types of things we need to be more intentional about. So really good advice, man. I really enjoyed connecting with you here today. Where can our listeners go to connect with you, to follow you, to check out your channel and all of that? Is there like a central website or like a couple of different spots?
I would say DNA, like DNA show. You can search that on YouTube and on social medias. But if you look at me mainly on like TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff, it's going to be DJ_sneakerhead. DJ Sneakerhead. I'll be the guy. I'm trying to brand everything so it says, DNA DJ Sneakerhead hosted by DNA Show, or DNA Show hosted by That way everybody can find it on all the platforms. But you should be able to find me. I don't think it should be too hard. Just look for the funny looking dude with the glasses. You'll be all right.
And the beautiful part too is social media, man. They can go to your YouTube channel. I'm sure you've got links in the video to like
it's
all
all
in other
there.
places. So that's the cool thing is like it's really hard to hide these days. I mean, social media, you don't really want to hide. You want to put yourself out there. So I'll be sure to link all that up in the show notes so people can connect with you and follow you. And maybe that person who is going to partner with you on building that warehouse listens to this episode and they reach out to you and they make it happen. But I'm going to keep following your journey, man, because I can't wait to see what you do and continue to do and the impact that you have down the road. So really appreciate the conversation, man. It's been awesome.
Thank you, for sure. And shout out to everybody that's listening. Y'all don't forget to tell your friends too, subscribe to his channel and all his networks as well. We got everybody on here. We got so many people. I know there's people down there that's listening right now that ain't hit the follow button. Like, what you doing, bro? You made it all the way to the end of the podcast and you still ain't hit the follow button. That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, bro.
I forget to do that. Leland will be like, dude, you didn't do a call to action. I'm like, oops. Please click like, follow, subscribe, go to DNA Show, go to Chris Bello on YouTube, subscribe, right? Share it with a friend, like all the whole call to action things, sign up for our email list. You know how it goes.
Yep.
Well, appreciate that, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, bro. All right. Thank you.